Welcome to week 6 of class. I'm glad that you stuck it out this far. We just have 2 weeks left after this one, and you've made it. So let's just go through the week. This page, of course, tells you what you need to read this week and what your assignments will be. Your assignments are also here as you go through the modules. So it's your final assignment in your Winning Ways workbook. And you're going to talk some more about attitude, or write some more about attitude. Describe an early child professional you know who has a good attitude. So whereas before you've written about the attitudes of workers in other places, and now you're going to think of a person you work with or have worked with that, or just seen working with children that has a good professional attitude. You're going to observe in a classroom for 15 minutes if possible. If you don't have somewhere that you can go watch for 15 minutes, please absolutely reach out to me and we'll find something for you. And note any negative phrases that you hear the teachers use. And then you're going to rewrite those phrases in a positive way. And then you're going to review the bad attitude checklist on pages 47 and 8 and describe a situation in which you had a bad attitude and how you could have responded more positively and professionally than you did. So I would say on number 2, let's come up with, well, I mean, we can't give it a number. Hopefully you hear very few things in 15 minutes that are negative phrases. And if you just don't hear anything in those 15 minutes or not enough, go throughout the week. Just think of negative phrases that you've heard throughout the week. If you're at work, obviously, like I said, if you don't have somewhere you can observe, please reach out to me. All right, your next assignment is your journal for this week. Just kind of letting you know how things are going. Enjoy reading those and knowing what's going on with you. And really, it gives you a chance to reflect and think about things. And then we start our observations this week. So you're going to use your focused observations book, and each one of these takes you through what you need to do. You're going to read chapter 1 of focused observations, and then you're going to go to observation practice number 2, what you can learn by observing a child. The purpose of this is to identify what can be learned by observing a child engaged in a short play experience. You're going to watch this video clip, which has a 2-year-old boy, a 3.5-year-old girl, and a teacher engaged in dramatic play. And you're going to focus on the boy while you watch it. After you watch it, you're going to generate or write a list of the capabilities, skills, social interactions, personality traits, and/or behaviors that you observed from demonstrating him. So you'll break it down like this when you write it: skills, social interactions, personality traits, any additional capabilities. Were you surprised at how much you learned about him in such a short observation? If you had a history with either of these children, do you think you would have seen what you saw in the video differently? And in what ways? So, I mean, the fact is, when we know children, we know things about them going into any situation where we might observe them. So think about how that might impact things. And then think about what you might do with this boy based on what you see in the video. What plans might you make for him that would either challenge him or interest him or something like that? Now we're starting, this is our first assignment that is observation practice. When we're doing these observation practice, we are observing a child or specific children, depending on what it says in the video. You are not to be commenting on the teacher, and you're not assessing her. You are observing the children. This is pretending that you're in a classroom and you're observing. And I say that to clarify because occasionally I do have someone who I think thinks that the point is to observe the teacher, and that is not the case. You're pretending that you're an adult in this classroom and watching the child. And there might sometimes be other adults when you're doing that, right? Because there might be co-teachers or aides and things like that. So for observation practice number 3, you're going to watch the clip of young toddlers playing in the sand with their teacher. After viewing, you're going to use your state's infant and toddler guidelines, and those are in your very first module, to find specific indicators that match what you observe the children doing or saying. You're going to find at least 3, and here's how you're going to write them. The domain, like mathematics. Then what standard in mathematics? what age range. I think there should be a letter here too, not just one. I think then they are then broken down by letters. So if that's, sorry, I'm blanking on if this for this age they are or not, but I believe they are. So then also include a letter if that's the case. And some of them might be and some might not be. And then the age range, and then the justification. How did you decide that this standard is something that you're seeing being met here? Try to look in multiple domains, as in don't have 3 for mathematics or something like that. And then answer this question. How do you observe? How do documentation, and the early learning guidelines allow for assessment? And you'll find information about that on these pages in your book. Observation practice number 5 is to be completed after reading, documenting factually, and interpreting children's actions on pages 45 through 51 of focused observations. The purpose is to learn to document what is actually seen and record what is taking place, rather than writing anecdotes that might be influenced by value judgments or up to interpretation. So it's all about writing what you see, not interpreting it. So watch the video of the preschool girls and their teacher involved in dramatic play. Take notes about the actions of the preschool girls. And one of the girls is a Spanish speaker, but there are subtitles provided. So what you're going to do is generate or transcribe your observation notes below. So you might handwrite them while you're doing it, but then to turn it in, you're going to need to type them out. Then make 2 lists in the table or chart provided below. So like this. And decide which of your comments are factual and which are interpretive. Okay, so just take notes as you watch it in the way that you would, and then go back and think, okay, well, this thing that I said of Sally lifted her arm, that's factual. Sally lifted her arm in order to show that she was angry is interpretive. You don't know that that's what she was showing. So go back and look at what you read and decide what's factual, what's interpretive. Were you surprised by what you discovered about your use of words? In other words, were you surprised at how many things that you did that were interpretive versus being actually factual or something like that? And then your next assignment was created for us by the librarian, and it's introducing you to the idea of using the LRC for research. So you're going to need to watch these 2 videos and look at the assignment instructions. You'll have 2 submissions for this assignment because you're gonna find an article. She's going to teach you how to find an article, and so you'll need to submit the PDF of that article, and then there are questions on this assignment. So just make sure that you deal with all 3 of these, the instructions and each video. You might find that you need to go back and rewatch one of them to fully understand once you've read or watched the other 2. But they're not very long, and she's very helpful. And this will give you a heads up once you start English or Comp 1. If you haven't taken it already, you'll already know some of the things they're going to teach you in there. So yeah, that's your assignments for this week. I'll go back to the module. So it kind of looks like a lot because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you have to realize, I don't think this will take you very long. Your journal, I don't think takes you very long. It kind of depends on how some of you do it, I guess. These observations, are also not very time consuming. This is the one that you might need a little bit of time on, but as we've said, this is 2 weeks in 1 week when we take these 8-week courses. So this really is 2 weeks of work in this 1 week, but you're almost over with this 8-week course. You also have these 2 optional videos and this that shouldn't be showing up when I'm in student view. So I will go take that out and make sure you don't see it with my little note to myself on there. Okay, please reach out if you have any questions. I'm absolutely here to help you. Don't forget about my office hours, and have a good week.